spoke with someone recently who told me how absolutely disconnected their office was. It was truly wild to me. I realized they probably weren't the only one. So this is what they told me. They said, I come to work and like we just sit at our desks and do our work and that's it. Nobody talks, nobody like chats in the hall, there's no good mornings. It's very isolating. This story just made me so depressed to the point that this person does try here and there to boost morale and found out it was a coworker's birthday and brought in donuts for their birthday, for the coworker's birthday, and went to the boss and said, hey, we're gonna sing happy birthday to, let's call her Meredith, I don't remember the person's name, to Meredith for her birthday. And the boss went, well, really, do I have to? And he went, well, you know, her parents did just pass away and it's her birthday, and so if you could just sing real quick with us. Like, what? I am so appalled that people have become that unfeeling and uncaring. Like, you have to tell a boss, yeah, remember how her parents passed away last month? Maybe we could go wish her well on her first birthday without them. I mean, even if her parents hadn't died, you should be able to take 2 minutes and go sing happy birthday and have a donut. But like, the added layer of this person just went through trauma and is grieving and you can't stop for a minute. Disconnection in certain offices is a lot worse than I thought it was. And here's the thing is I'm realizing that kind of disconnection, it doesn't happen overnight, but when you get that disconnected, look how cold you become and the office becomes. And once an office is like that, people aren't staying. So today we're going to talk about why connection is the retention strategy you need to be paying a lot more attention to. Welcome to Creating Opportunities, the podcast for professionals who know that building relationships isn't just a soft skill, it's a career advantage. I'm Cassandra Thompson, and every week we talk about how to better connect in our work lives. Whether you're leading a team, landing a client, or frankly, just feel disconnected in your day-to-day, this podcast is here to help. Okay, so first up, people don't just leave jobs because they're burnout. I hear that a lot. Oh, it's burnout, it's burnout. We all love talking about burnout right now. Time management versus energy management, etc. There is a place for that. I'm not against it. But not everything is about burnout. A lot of people leave jobs because they don't feel seen. They don't feel connected. Gallup does a poll like every year, and every year it says 59% of people or more are going to stay at work if they feel connected to it. Even things like as long as they have one friend, one person they would consider themselves friendly with at work, they are less likely to look for other jobs elsewhere. And then on top of retention, BetterUp did a study that, this is crazy, it showed that when people feel like they belong at work, so they feel connected, there is a 56% boost in performance and it cuts turnover risk in half. And interestingly, literally yesterday, after I already wrote the script for this, a new study came out. It was just published in Harvard Business Review. I believe it was testing 36,000 people. The way to have a successful team is to have a team that will take risks. And how do you get a team that's willing to risk, right? To ask the hard questions, to say things, to challenge assumptions, to try something new? Well, you need two things, and one of them is connection. You need a team that feels connected. The other piece was high courage, but that is for a whole different topic. But I just found it so interesting that what makes the top 8% of teams, the high performing teams, perform high is connection and courage. And connection looks like high accountability and high care. Ooh, do you know how happy I was that they used the word care? Because I've been beating that drum for a long time. Because here's the thing you have to know. Disengagement is expensive. And the scary part, what I'm seeing, especially from that leader, is if the leader is disengaged, the team is disengaged. And yet on the flip side, I can also see if the leader's engaged, sometimes it's too late before they see, oh, people on my team don't feel connected and engaged. So it's something leaders have to be looking out for. But when I say disengagement is expensive, I've seen stats that say US companies lose 450 to 550 billion annually from disengaged employees. Because here's the thing, disengaged employees, if they feel unseen, they just stop going the extra mile. So some things to look out for. Missed deadlines. Passive in meetings, quiet quitting. Now, I have a video on my career channel all around quiet quitting. I think there are times where you should quiet quit, but it depends on what we mean by quiet quitting. But in case somebody's seen that video and then listens to this and they're like, wait, you told us to quiet quit, go watch that video again. Okay. The second thing that's kind of interesting is that if you focus on connection, it tends to give leaders what you're actually looking for. Meaning you probably want people on your team who care about trust, who collaborate, who take ownership. Well, if they feel connected, they feel cared for, and that promotes psychological safety, where they'll be more likely to take ownership, to collaborate, because they don't feel threatened about their work. So it pays off. So what are some practical ways we can build connection to increase retention? Well, number one, micro gestures. I talk about this on this podcast all the time, but really it's more about small things than grand moments that matter. So the little things that are done often carry a lot more weight than we think. And this is good news because I know leaders are busy, and a different HBR article just came out talking about how so many people have inherited large teams that now there's not time for the one-on-ones with each person, etc. And so we need, smaller micro gestures. So what would be a micro gesture? Things like birthday shout outs. Go listen to the episode on birthdays. Doing a Slack message that just says, hey, I just wanted to check in. How are you doing? Not just the work, but you. Casual recognition. As you're walking past someone in the hall saying, I got that report. It looks really good. Like, great. Or on Slack, just saying a little moment in front of everyone, right? Because we want to recognize publicly, criticize privately. Recognizing publicly on Slack, like, hey, so-and-so just did this today. Really appreciated it. Like, the more you do that, the more the team will start doing it too. But all those things I just shared, each one of them takes less than 30 seconds, and yet it makes someone feel connected. Because at the end of the day, those little things are just little winks of saying, I see you, and I'm gonna say it over and over again. People wanna be seen. Now, the second thing you can do, build team rituals. Again, these don't have to be long, but maybe it is a weekly team check-in. And in those, not making them all about status updates, right? So having a moment in it where you ask people, what's win this week outside of work? Give everyone a quick chance to get to know each other. Now they get to share, they get to choose how much they want to share in that moment, how personal they get, but it's giving people a chance to be seen. And then the last great way to have connection as a retention strategy is to see leaders as connectors. So if you are a leader, you're a connector. Because here's the thing, connection, like the connection itself, is not just your job. You want to be building a culture that connects others to each other and they take it on themselves. So don't do everything as just one to many or you're the only connector. I want my team to feel connected to me, but how do you get them to feel connected to each other? When you have a conversation with someone, where can you say, hey, I know you're working on this, so-and-so's working on that. I think you two could talk because you could collaborate on how these projects work together, right? Or you should talk to so-and-so, or I think it would really be helpful if you gave this person some advice. You're now telling that person, I trust you. I want you to take ownership of something. You're providing ample opportunities for collaboration. These are all things to help people stay connected to each other and make them part of others feeling connected, so that you're not just connected to the boss, you're connected to everyone. And like that HB article that I was talking about that said these leaders have had to take on big teams, if that's the case, you need to help create that relational bridge between people on your team, because connection cannot be just on you. You literally don't have the bandwidth for it. But yet we need to make connection happen because it's a retention strategy, so dole it out to others. And then one last way to really help is encourage people to share what they're working on. Maybe that's in Slack and you kind of build a connection strategy around making sure you heart things or ask people a question on what they're working on or say that's great. But more, I would recommend a morning stand-up. This is why I love stand-up meetings as a chance for people to share what they're working on and to remember you're part of a team. So even if you're remote, I suggest doing a morning stand-up over Zoom. But if you're in person, it's even better, because the whole reason that you do it as a stand-up and you should be physically standing is that keeps people from talking way too long. You get what you need to say out and then you move on. I've been in morning stand-ups, but the best ones I saw were when I worked at Riot Games. I worked right next to finance, and finance did a morning stand-up every meeting, and their leader would go over a whiteboard of here are the main critical tasks we're working on, and then what are you working on. Everyone went around and really quickly said what they're working on, and it helped you all be on the same page. And it sounds silly, but it does make you feel connected. And because you're hearing what everyone's working on, that gives a chance to go, I'm working on this thing, but I really need help with this, or letting somebody say, oh, I could collaborate with you on that, or oh, it seems like these projects match up. It fosters more connection. So as much as we all love to say, oh, this meeting could have been an email, there is a place for meetings. Also, I'm in the middle of Unreasonable Hospitality right now by Will Good, and he just brought up nothing changes team dynamics like a 30-minute meeting each day. And as I read it, I went, oh my gosh, I can hear the groans from corporate America. A daily 30-minute meeting. Now, stand-up doesn't have to be a 30-minute meeting, but there is something about everyone being in the same room, going over something together to put you all on the same page and feel connected. The other example I would give of this, I just thought of it, was when I worked at Wheel of Fortune, before tape days, we would have a production meeting, right? And everyone was in the production meeting. When I was marketing assistant, I didn't even set foot on stage on tape days. I still was in the production meeting. And what did they do? They ran through the run of show. Have you seen Wheel of Fortune? The run of show is basically the same every single day, but you know, it would be, oh, it's this theme week, and here's what the set will look like, and we all see it. And then here's what the prizes are gonna be that day, and we all know, even though people love to say, oh, it's too long, and it was like a 30-minute meeting once every 2 weeks, or oh, I don't know why we all have to be there. I truly see the value in why we had that meeting. It put everyone on the same page, and you felt connected. It was a moment to all be in the same place at the same time, since some people were crew and downstairs, some were in the office. We were all there together, and that too helps you stay connected. So not all meetings are bad. So what I would really love to encourage in this episode is to remember that connection isn't just a soft skill. Connection is a success skill for your team and your company. Connection is strategic, and it directly impacts performance, collaboration, and retention. And you can have all the output you want, right? You could be the greatest team making all the profits, but if people don't feel connected, that equals turnover. So you could have a great Q3 and everyone leaves in Q4. So don't just look at productivity on your team, look at connection. Figure out ways to help people stay connected. Start saying happy birthday. Follow up with people and ask how that project's going. Have a weekly team meeting or a daily quick stand-up, or let me know in the comments, what are things you've seen done at work to help people feel more connected? Let's get a list going. But I hope from this episode you just see that connection is so important to our work. It is a huge retention strategy, and we all need to start focusing on it. By taking these small moments, you are building relationships at work that make people feel seen and want to stay. And so I hope from this episode you see how important connection is, and that you start keeping people longer because of it, and that may none of us be that horrible boss that couldn't take 2 minutes to sing happy birthday. Thank you for tuning into the Creating Opportunities podcast. If you found this valuable, please hit subscribe wherever you're listening, and it would really help us out if you leave a quick review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hi to my YouTube folks, please like and comment below. I do read every one, and it's small things like that that make a big difference in getting this show out there to more people who want to have better relationships in their work lives. So thank you for that, and I'll see you in the next one.